Hello, everyone. It is Tuesday night, May 7th, approaching 11:20 p.m. now, and welcome into tonight's late night video weather discussion for an update on both some of the severe weather that we saw across portions of the state today. We're going to continue to see a severe weather threat across portions of the state overnight tonight. And then we have more severe weather potential on the way for Wednesday. So this active pattern that we've been in for quite a while now is going to continue. And here we are starting off tonight with a look at the radar here across the region. And you will notice a couple things. First of all, we do still have a couple of isolated showers and thunderstorms up across eastern Iowa, southeastern Minnesota, southern central Wisconsin, even coming into northern Illinois now. So if you are in northern Illinois, you will continue to see the chance of maybe an isolated shower or a thunderstorm as we work through overnight tonight. You folks right now are seeing that in the Quad Cities area, and some of that activity as it weakens will continue to move off towards the east. So once again, if you're in northern Illinois here, don't be surprised if you pick up another isolated shower or a thunderstorm overnight tonight, but your severe weather threat is done for tonight. Another thing you'll notice here is quite a bit of thunderstorm activity from southern Illinois up into southern Indiana and Ohio. Some of that activity has been severe tonight. So for you folks down here across far southern Illinois, including the Paducah area, you're going to continue to see the chance of some showers and thunderstorms overnight tonight, and there is still the risk for isolated severe thunderstorms in this corridor down across southern Illinois as well. And we'll get to that in just a moment, a little bit more on that. Another thing I wanted to show you here is all of the severe weather reports from the region over the past 24 hours. So you notice all these little dots, all the colored dots represent a severe weather report. Whether it's green dots represent hail, the blue dots represent wind, damaging winds or wind damage, and the red dots are either funnel clouds or tornadoes. So first of all, a lot of these dots out here, let me redraw that. So most of these dots out here are from a lot of the severe weather that ended up occurring very early this morning. So a lot of these dots, like I said, out across Missouri, even up into western Illinois, central Illinois, southwestern Illinois, a lot of those dots were wind damage reports from that line of storms that moved through earlier in the morning on Tuesday. Now, a lot of these dots up here across southern Wisconsin, up into northern Illinois, those are damaging wind and hail reports from today. We actually had 2 rounds of severe thunderstorm activity that moved through northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin this afternoon and this evening, and a lot of that activity did produce some damaging winds and hail. So a lot of reports up around that area. Most of the tornadoes today were actually out here across portions of the Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan region. That's where most of the tornado reports ended up being today. However, we did have one tornado warning earlier this afternoon. Just to the northeast of the Rockford area, early this afternoon, there was a tornado warning up around that area, and there were some reports of some damage. So it is going to be interesting to see if we did have a tornado touchdown up there from earlier this afternoon that was well to the northeast of the Rockford area, right along the Illinois-Wisconsin state line there. So we'll see if the National Weather Service sends any survey crews out there to see what kind of damage occurred and see if it was wind damage or tornado-produced damage. But once again, very active severe weather day the past 24 hours here across the region. Now, as we go through time through overnight tonight, once again, for you folks across northern Illinois for tonight, you still will run the risk of maybe an isolated shower or thunderstorm overnight tonight across northern Illinois. However, your severe weather threat is over with. If you live in central Illinois tonight, we are expecting you folks to stay dry overnight tonight and quiet. The one exception will be down here across southern Illinois, including the Paducah area. That is where we're going to continue to see some showers and thunderstorms overnight tonight down in this corridor. And there is going to continue to be an isolated severe weather risk with some of that activity overnight tonight down here across southern Illinois. And I could actually show you that here on our updated severe weather forecast. So once again, this is for overnight tonight into early Wednesday morning. And as you can see here, we continue to have much of the far southern portion of Illinois in the level 1 severe thunderstorm risk. And essentially that means you folks down here across this risk level in far southern Illinois, you will continue to have an isolated severe weather threat overnight tonight, and that could be in the form of damaging winds, hail, and maybe an isolated tornado threat as well. So once again, southern Illinois, severe weather threat will continue overnight tonight and into early Wednesday morning. Now, as we go deeper into Wednesday, we're expecting a lot of action across portions of the state. So Wednesday morning, our next storm system is going to start to develop out here to the west. We're going to have a front start to sweep in, and we are going to see a very early development of showers and thunderstorms across Missouri. This activity is expected to start developing as early as maybe 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning across Missouri. And then once that activity does develop Wednesday morning, you're going to notice that activity is going to further expand and further develop as it moves off towards the east into the St. Louis area, potentially by the midday or early afternoon time frame. And then another thing you're going to notice here is along a warm frontal boundary, we're also going to get some new development down here across southern Illinois, down into southeastern Missouri, back into Kentucky as well. So a lot of development occurring early in the day on Wednesday. So there could be a couple of rounds of severe weather potential through the day here across portions of southern Illinois. This is right around mid-afternoon here. As we go into late afternoon, look at all this vigorous activity that continues to develop and move over the same areas over and over again. And even as we head into the evening and early Wednesday night, that activity continues to move through. But by the time we get towards midnight, Wednesday night, moving into Thursday morning, you will see that this activity has finally moved off towards the east and the southeast, and we finally start to clear out across southern Illinois. Now, for the remainder of the state, we could be looking at an isolated severe weather risk across other portions of the state as well. Obviously, tomorrow the biggest severe weather risk is going to be down across southern Illinois, but for some other portions of the state, we will watch for maybe an isolated severe weather risk. And even if that isolated severe weather risk does not pan out, you folks up here across northern and into central Illinois, you'll still get some rain and thunderstorms during the day on Wednesday and into Wednesday night as well. But without a doubt, the biggest severe weather threat on Wednesday is going to be down there across southern Illinois. And here is the updated severe weather forecast for Wednesday, and it shows you exactly what I'm talking about here. The biggest threat for the most widespread and the most significant severe storms on Wednesday, from Wednesday morning into Wednesday night, will be down here across southern Illinois. You will notice we have these areas across the southern portion of the state outlooked in a level 2 to level 3 severe thunderstorm risk on Wednesday. Once again, the time frame is Wednesday morning into Wednesday night for the level 2 to level 3 severe thunderstorm risks down here across southern Illinois, and that includes places like Effingham, St. Louis, the Mount Vernon, Centralia areas, Carbondale's down here, Marion, Harrisburg, Paducah, all of you folks down there across southern Illinois, level 2 to level 3 severe thunderstorm risk. And the threats are going to be all modes. We could see large hail, damaging winds, and even some tornadoes down here across the southern portion of the state for your Wednesday. And once again, this is Wednesday morning into Wednesday night. Now, for you folks further north here in the blue shaded color, anywhere from central Illinois here, much of central Illinois, even up into western and northwestern Illinois here, that blue shaded color for all of you folks, this is that level 1 severe thunderstorm risk that's in place for Wednesday as well for all of these areas here. And that essentially means the environment is not going to be as good as further south for severe weather, but we can't totally rule out the chance of an isolated severe thunderstorm somewhere in that corridor. So we'll be watching that as well, but without a doubt, the biggest severe weather threat on Wednesday will be down there across southern Illinois, and all modes of severe weather will be possible. Damaging winds, hail, and some tornadoes. We could have instances of large hail over 2 inches in diameter. We could have some corridors of some very significant damaging winds. And like I said, we could have some tornadoes down here possibly as well for your Wednesday. So with that said here, let's jump into the video chat tonight, see if we can get to some comments and questions here. See Triple Beam from YouTube checking in here, mentioning you had quite a storm in your area today. Your gutters overflowed and the water got into your basement window. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, that definitely sounds like it was a messy situation, that's for sure. Alan checking in from the Chicago area. Can't rule out an isolated shower or thunderstorm overnight tonight, but that's about it. Otherwise, no severe weather in the Chicago area for the remainder of tonight. Mary checking in from down in Pike County. You could have a chance for some severe weather down in your area as we head through the day on Wednesday as well. See Daisy checking in from the Danville area. We can't totally rule out an isolated severe thunderstorm threat in your area, but the best chance of severe weather, as you can see, is most definitely going to be to your south down here across the southern Illinois corridor. Cody checking in. How's it going this evening, Cody? Or tonight, I should say. Sammy, yes, the severe weather threat is over with for tonight across northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin. Jeff checking in tonight. How's it going, Jeff? Yes, I saw your pictures that you sent in earlier. Looks like you had quite a hailstorm this afternoon in your area and some flooding as well. I noticed one of your pictures, quite a bit of flooding was going on too. Thank you for sending those in. But yes, the southern and southwestern portion of the Chicago metro area, including places like Palos Park, the Orland Park area, down towards even close to Joliet, that corridor actually saw some very significant hail. The hail was actually accumulating. I know we received a report from someone this afternoon that the hail was accumulating up to several inches deep on their deck on the southern portions of the Chicago metro area. There were also many reports of half-dollar golf ball size hail, even a couple of reports of 2-inch diameter hail in some cases as well. So yeah, the southern suburbs, the south side of the Chicago area, did pick up quite a hailstorm this afternoon. Brett wondering, what does an isolated severe thunderstorm mean? An isolated severe thunderstorm means exactly what it sounds like. There's the potential for maybe an isolated, a rogue severe thunderstorm to occur. Nothing widespread, but isolated severe thunderstorm means exactly how it sounds. There's a very isolated kind of low threat of maybe a rogue severe thunderstorm. So that's kind of what we mean, when we talk about the level 1 risk area. That's what we mean. Kind of like a rogue isolated severe thunderstorm could be possible. That's a good example for that. Cat checking in tonight from the Kankakee area. How's it going? Looks like the severe weather threat for you tomorrow will be off to your south, so some good news there. Deborah checking in from North Aurora tonight, mentioning the storms went by really quick. Yeah, the one that moved through the North Aurora area this evening, there was actually a report. Weather station reported a 64-mile-per-hour wind gust in North Aurora, so the winds were gusty with that storm that moved through your neck of the woods. Brett checking in from the Quad Cities area. Do you see a tornado threat at all tomorrow or Thursday? Very, very low chance of a tornado threat tomorrow around the Quad Cities area, and there is no severe weather risk for Thursday at this point in time. Ryan checking in from the Rockford area. You had some severe thunderstorms this afternoon up around your area, but the good news is for tomorrow on Wednesday, severe weather threat will be well to your south. Have Kimberly checking in from Ohio tonight, not far from the Cincinnati area. You've actually been getting some severe weather tonight around your neck of the woods as well. Been a bunch of tornado warnings the past couple of hours across Indiana and Ohio as well. All right, here. Alyssa checking in here from the Marion area of southern Illinois. That portion of southern Illinois, you probably won't see the storms move into closer to midday around the Marion, Carbondale area. you probably won't see your severe weather threat start to increase right around midday, and then it'll continue all the way into probably early Wednesday night. Costa checking in here tonight, mentioning you had the bad hail in the Orland area. Your car was damaged. Yeah, not surprising. We received many pictures and videos. We did actually share a couple of those to our page of that large hail. Like I said, it ranged anywhere from $50 up to golf ball, even in some cases 2-inch diameter hail there on the southern side of the Chicago area earlier this afternoon as that big thunderstorm moved through. Carolyn checking in from the Bonfield area tonight. How is it going? Good news is the severe weather threat will stay to your south tomorrow, but you could still pick up some showers and thunderstorms at some point tomorrow into tomorrow night around your neck of the woods, Carolyn. Audra checking in here from down in Olney. You're going to be having that severe weather threat for sure tomorrow. I'd say anywhere from midday all the way into early Wednesday night. You could have a couple of rounds of storms with severe weather move through as well. Donna checking in from out in Rochelle. That's up there right around the Lee, Ogle, DeKalb County border up there in northern Illinois. Your severe weather threat is pretty much done for the next day or so. Could see some showers and thunderstorms at some point later tomorrow and more so into tomorrow night as well. Lisa checking in from Matson. Severe weather threat is pretty much done for your neck of the woods. Definitely going to stay south of your area tomorrow as well. Denny checking in from up in the Huntley area up in McHenry County. You could have some showers and thunderstorms later in the day tomorrow and more so overnight tomorrow night, maybe even some lingering rain into Thursday, but no severe weather threat for you. Tommy checking in tonight from East Aurora. You could still pick up some showers and thunderstorms also late in the day Wednesday and especially overnight Wednesday night as well, but no severe weather in your area as well. Alexa checking in here, wondering if I could give any insight as to why so many townships sounded the alarms tonight. So earlier this evening, there was some thunderstorms. One of them was severe that were moving through the Kendall County area. And the Kendall County Emergency Management ended up receiving a couple of reports of funnel clouds from either the public or trained spotters. So that prompted them to sound the tornado sirens, even though there was no tornado warning in effect. And the storms that were moving through were not tornadic, and they were not showing any signs of rotation. So the best guess is that the reports that they received probably were reports of actually scud clouds, which sometimes could look like funnel clouds, but the storms that moved through the Kendall County area this evening, they were not tornadic. They never had the chance of becoming tornadic. They had no rotation. The Kendall County Emergency Management sounded the sirens based on the reports that they got. Unfortunately, they were really inaccurate reports in this case, so that is why the sirens sounded in some of those areas in the Kendall County area. Now, closer to the Wisconsin border, there were a couple of times the sirens sounded as well. At one point this afternoon, there was actually a tornado warning in effect for northern Boone and northern McHenry counties. So you might have heard the sirens up in northern Boone and northern McHenry County earlier this afternoon. And there may have been a tornado up there earlier this afternoon. I'm sure the National Weather Service will send some survey teams up there. And then also this evening, as another round of severe thunderstorms worked across southern Wisconsin, there were some tornado warnings in effect across southern Wisconsin. And you might have heard some sirens if you were right along the border. Winnebago, Boone, McHenry County border with Wisconsin. You might have heard those sirens up in the southern Wisconsin area from those warnings that were up in that area. All right, here, Alexa checking back in here. Reports should be done by the train spotters, not civilians. Yeah, they usually take all the reports that they could get because there's not always train spotters or storm chasers around. They're just not always around or in the area where storms are ongoing. So yes, the Weather Service or, the emergency management offices, they do take public reports as well. but sometimes they are not totally accurate or reliable, unfortunately, sometimes, and that leads to situations like we saw this evening in Kendall County, where there were reported funnel clouds when there really were not any funnel clouds, and the sirens were sounded, and they really didn't need to be sounded. So unfortunately, we end up with those issues at times. Audrey checking in from the Joliet area. No, you don't need to be worried anymore. Your severe weather threat is over with. Donna checking in from the Rochelle area, mentioning you just got a brief downpour a little while ago. Yes, once again, if you're in northern Illinois, let's go back over to the forecast for tonight. Once again, if you're in northern Illinois, your severe weather threat is done for tonight. However, you still may see an isolated shower or thunderstorm overnight tonight across northern Illinois. But once again, your severe weather threat is done. As you can see here, central Illinois, you're not going to get anything tonight. It's going to stay dry and quiet across central Illinois tonight. And then once again, southern Illinois, the blue shaded color, the level 1 severe thunderstorm risk. We could continue to see the chance of showers, thunderstorms, and an isolated severe thunderstorm risk down there across far southern Illinois overnight tonight. And then flipping back over to the forecast for Wednesday, once again, another active weather day on the way for us here across the state, especially southern Illinois. You'll see a level 2 and level 3 severe thunderstorm risk in place across all of southern Illinois from Wednesday morning into Wednesday night. We could be looking at multiple rounds of thunderstorms with severe weather with those rounds of thunderstorms across all of southern Illinois. Once again, that's from Wednesday morning into Wednesday night. Further north across the blue shaded area, maybe the chance of an isolated or rogue isolated severe thunderstorm across these areas. That would be Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday evening. But overall, up across those areas, your threat is going to remain pretty low up across those areas. Without a doubt, the highest coverage and the most significance of severe weather on Wednesday is going to be down here across southern Illinois, where all modes of severe weather will be possible. Felix wondering what the difference is in terms of tornado. Tornado, isolated tornado, brief tornado, etc. Usually I try to stay away from terms like brief tornado because in general most tornadoes are brief. Most tornadoes usually last from anywhere from seconds to up to a minute or two. So most tornadoes, believe it or not, are actually very brief. They usually last 1 to 2 minutes or less. Now, yes, some cases you get some longer lasting tornadoes that could last, 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes. But usually I try to stay away from using the term brief tornado because, like I said, most tornadoes are brief. At the same time, tornadoes are also isolated. So when we use the term isolated tornado with something that's already, isolated in nature, it's, a little redundant, but it also makes sense at the same time because sometimes we see widespread tornado threats where almost every storm is producing a tornado. And then other times you could have about 10 different storms, but only one of them produce a tornado. So that's more of an isolated threat. So when we talk about like isolated tornado threat, we're talking about maybe you might see one tornado across that area that particular day. But like in the case of Wednesday, coming up here for the day on Wednesday, there's the possibility that we could see some tornadoes. Now, when I say some tornadoes, that means, there could be a handful of tornadoes, maybe more, across southern Illinois tomorrow. That's the kind of level of threat that we're going to see down there for tomorrow. Now, I'm not going to guarantee you that because, the weather's going to do what it wants to do. But there is environmental conditions that are favorable down here across southern Illinois on Wednesday that are going to be favorable for all modes of severe weather. Large hail, potentially in excess of 2 inches in diameter. You could also see damaging winds, maybe in excess of 75 miles per hour. There could be some corridors of significant damaging winds, and there, like I said, could be some tornadoes down here across southern Illinois for Wednesday as well. So, with that said, it's getting a little bit late here, so we'll go ahead and wrap up this discussion for tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. Once again, flipping back over to our updated forecast tonight, expecting maybe an isolated shower or thunderstorm overnight tonight for the remainder of northern Illinois. No severe weather expected, just an isolated shower or thunderstorm there tonight across northern Illinois. No severe weather. Central Illinois, a very quiet night tonight. No rain, no thunderstorms, no severe weather. Southern Illinois for the remainder of tonight, isolated severe thunderstorm risk down there, and that'll run through the morning hours of Wednesday as well. And then speaking of Wednesday, one more look at the updated severe weather forecast across the state of Illinois here. The biggest and most widespread coverage severe weather will be down across southern Illinois, where all modes of severe weather will be possible. Damaging winds, large hail, and a tornado threat as well. And that'll be Wednesday morning into Wednesday night across southern Illinois. For the rest of you folks in the blue shaded corridor, the level 1 severe thunderstorm risk, that is where we could be dealing with an isolated or a rogue severe thunderstorm potential across these areas during the afternoon and evening hours on Wednesday. And then across northeastern Illinois, you escape the severe weather threat. Just some general rain thunderstorms up there late in the day Wednesday and into Wednesday night. All right, here. So with that said, we'll go ahead and wrap things up for tonight. We will monitor the severe weather situation for the remainder of tonight across far southern Illinois. And then we will be back on in the morning, tomorrow morning being Wednesday morning, for another full update regarding the expected severe weather coming up for the day on Wednesday, and then we'll be monitoring the situation through the day on Wednesday as well. But for now, thank you all for tuning in, and you all have a great rest of your Tuesday night.